So I'm Rick West. I'm in the Instructional Psychology and Technology department at Brigham Young University. I'm an assistant professor there. So this paper came about where I've done some work on this area before. It's about communities of innovation, which is a framework that I developed in 2009, published it in Educational Technology Research and Development. And that paper's been around and it's developed some traction, but many of the ideas, I've been developing them and actually researching them. In 2009, a lot of them were theoretical kinds of ideas, and I've been since doing research on developing those ideas. So the Communities of Innovation framework comes from my understanding of creativity as a group and collaborative process, that the idea of the lone genius is mostly a myth. Sometimes that happens, and we definitely have creative types, but that the true innovation often comes from the groups and from the communities that are functioning in a way to support that kind of innovation. So the Communities of Innovation framework looks at the individual characteristics as well as the group and organizational level characteristics and how they interact together to form communities that support the creativity to emerge out of them. So there are various characteristics that we find are common, not that they are all essential, but that these characteristics show up more and more often in innovative communities. So things like the hierarchy tends to be more flat and studio-based rather than hierarchical and pyramid-based. There tends to be a lot more group flow, which is something that Keith Sawyer talked about, which was a development of the Csikszentmihalyi theory of flow into a group setting, where the group, because of their ability to interact and listen to each other, can improvise off of each other's ideas in a flow-like way and really develop their ideas together. So group flow tends to be more common. The importance of having shared vision, which is something that Anderson and West talk about in their team climate studies, that there's a shared vision, and then also a strong enough sense of community and psychological safety, which is what Everett Rogers talked about, that will allow people to be critical of each other's ideas. Because what we find is that the important thing is that you have diversity within the group, but that people are comfortable enough to be able to bring that diversity to the table and not be shy about sharing their ideas and then getting critiqued on their ideas. Sometimes we think that groups shouldn't be critical of each other's ideas, but they should. But there should be enough comfort with each other that you can be critical in a way that's developmental rather than destructive. This paper was an update of what I talked about in 2009, but we don't by any means think of this as closed. We're continuing to think about these things, wanting to study the various different characteristics and understand how they look in practice and in different settings with different kinds of disciplines and industries. And that's kind of the focus of what I'm trying to go about with my current research, is looking at how this looks in practice and how we can teach in a way that takes advantage of what we know from industry and improve it in the classroom as well.